Добрый день. Скажите, пожалуйста, вы говорите, что вы похожи на свою героиню, то есть вы тоже работающая женщина и многодетная мать. А вам удается уделять своему мужу и детям столько времени, сколько вам хотелось бы? Это первый вопрос. И второй вопрос. Расскажите, пожалуйста, о своих детях, что они любят, чем увлекаются. Спасибо.
Well, thank you for the question. It's an interesting question. There's a big part of my life that requires work, and that's something that I really love to do. But I think, unlike a lot of women who are working, I have the opportunity to bring my children to my workplace a lot. And it's, movies are a very finite period of time, so it's, you can make sense of it, and it cannot intrude on your family life too much. And then there's long periods of time where I don't do a movie and I'm home all the time. And I think the other thing is that I really think about as a working mother is all the mothers who work in a more conventional, typical job all year, every year, year after year, and they don't have the opportunity to bring their children to work. And I feel very lucky that I can have work that allows more time with my children. So I feel like I actually get a lot more time than other working mothers, which I'm very aware of. In terms of my children's interest right now, my son, James, he's almost 9 years old. He'll be 9 in October. And he likes very much this Japanese animation, Yu-Gi-Oh! I don't know if those are familiar names here, Yu-Gi-Oh! And he loves to read, and he likes to draw, and he really likes his friends. He's a big Roger Federer fan, he's a big tennis fan, and he's a big Mets, the Mets is an American baseball team in New York City. He's a big Mets fan, tough season for him. And then my daughters are 2, and they like everything. Everything is fascinating to them. Everything is interesting. They love riding their bicycles, and they love playing with dolls, and they love playing with trucks, and they love trains. And my daughter Loretta loves bell towers and the sounds of bells. And my daughter Tabitha always pretends she's going on errands. She takes her carriage and she pushes it around, and she tells me she'll be right back, and she has her wallet and her keys, and she takes her baby with her, and she always has a purse in the crook of her arm. So they're pretty typical 2-year-old girls. They're very cute.
Сара, рассказали вам героиня вашего нового фильма?
Can you repeat it? The gentleman couldn't hear you. Can you say something?
Рассказали вам героиня вашего нового фильма?
Just in the ways that I've been mentioning this morning, she's a working mother, and she has 2 children, but I have 3. But she is familiar in just in the ways that I've been articulating, just the complications of a busy life, the desire to be all things to all people, and to be very well thought of professionally, and more importantly, be very well thought of and by her family, and just the trials of modern motherhood are familiar to me, definitely.
Добрый день, Сара. Очень рада видеть вас в Москве. Вы совершенно фантастическая. У меня такой вопрос. Говорят, что в 3-й части «Секс в большом городе», 3-й части кино, молодая актриса Блейк Лавли будет сниматься в эпизодах, и вы готовы поделить с ней роль Кэрри? Как она нравится вам как претендентка на эту роль?
I heard the rumors about that. None of those rumors are true. There is no television series or movie or prequel with Blake Lively, no, nor any of the actresses mentioned. I don't know her work very well, but she seems lovely, and I'm sure she would be wonderful in the role. It's not as if I'm out pursuing new Carrie Bradshaws, but the world is the way it is, and if someone should come along that everybody felt good about, I'm sure I would be gracious and generous and hand over the torch, as they say. But there's no truth to those rumors.
Сара?
Yes.
Сара?
Where are you?
Я здесь. Здравствуйте. Скажите, пожалуйста, вот были ли в вашей жизни какие-то мистические истории, которые не поддаются никаким объяснениям? И второй вопрос. Можно знать, что за платье на вас?
Just in general, bizarre events that have happened in my life. Just anything bizarre? Oh, well, of course. I can't think of them now, naturally. But I'm sure there are bizarre events that have happened, but I don't know. I'm terrible at anecdotes when I'm supposed to have them. So, but I can tell you that the dress is a wonderful designer in New York named Trouble Garung. Is that am I saying correctly? Garung. And he's from Nepal, and he's very, very talented. He's one of the CFDA winners, I think, correct? And he's also one of the original, I think, the short list of when Vogue puts together, what is that called, Shay? That list of young designers that receive some, there's like a fund, the Young Designers Fund that Anna Winter started, and I think he's one of the recipients. He's very, very, very talented. He's a very young, beautiful, exciting new designer in America.
Сара, доброе утро. Программа «Кино делает» на СТС. Меня зовут Екатерина. Скажите, пожалуйста, мы уже поняли, что ваша героиня в этом фильме, она больше вам близка на данном этапе вашей жизни, чем Кэрри Брэдшоу, например, 10 лет назад. Скажите, а как изменился город, Нью-Йорк, за то время, вот с тех пор, как запустился «Секс в большом городе»? Возможно, была бы такая история и сейчас? Или же все-таки история, я не знаю, как она делает это, больше соответствует нынешнему времени? Спасибо.
It's not that Kate Reddy is closer to me. It's that the choices she has made are more familiar. Carrie Bradshaw was an infamously famous single woman for most of her adult life. I was not. I didn't have a very colorful dating life. Anything even remotely as colorful as Carrie Bradshaw's. And Kate Reddy finds herself having made slightly more traditional choices, as have I in my life. So there are life choices that are familiar to me. It's not that she's closer to me. It would be hard to imagine any part being closer to me than Carrie Bradshaw emotionally, but our lives have been different. That's the beauty of playing a role like Carrie Bradshaw for so long. But there's a lot about Kate Reddy that's not familiar. I don't know how she does it. Actually takes place in Boston, not in New York City. So it's really not a movie about New York at all. Nor is New York. She makes a couple of quick visits to New York for business purposes. But the backdrop of the city is not a part of the story. It's really the story of more an internal landscape. And in terms of how New York has changed over the past 10 years, in every way that's very obvious and probably been well covered here in Russia. We had a rather catastrophic event happen in our city 10 years ago. It changed so much about who we are. It changed our city, obviously, politically. Our city has changed a lot. We've had, a turnover in mayors. We've had, on a national level, we've had a change in our president. So that changes the political landscape and the environment. We've had huge economic changes in our city. And of course, the center of finance in our country is Wall Street. So there's been every change possible, culturally, politically, socially, financially. And it's, as a result, it changes who you are and how you look at things. But I think at the end of the day, we're all New Yorkers, and we have, there's part of us that will never change. We're entrenched in our city that we love, and no matter what happens.